So here's a key reason why great quality guys like you don't meet, date, and attract the women that they want. Most good men out there simply do not approach women. And this is being motivated from a really positive space. They don't want to go over uninvited, do not want to intrude. They definitely don't want to do anything that could be considered harassing or creepy. The net result of this is that all those women who would love to meet you simply do not know that you exist. I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways you can go about meeting women in real life in a way that is socially intelligent. It doesn't feel natural to approach her. If I had a good reason to say hello to her, then I'd be able to do it. I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to wait on a clear signal from her. Whilst this is all well-intentioned, often the result of it is you just don't meet that many women, certainly not enough women to get positive results from meeting women in the real world. So let's fix it. Let go of the need for it to feel natural and smooth. Think about it. With anything else that you've learned to do, whether that's maybe like a sport, like riding a bike, skiing, surfing, it usually doesn't feel natural the first time that you do something. As a beginner, as a guy who's just starting to do this in your everyday life, let go of that need. It is okay if things are a little bit clunky. And you know what? It doesn't have to be smooth for women to like you. Often you take the action and clunky is actually good enough. You can approach a woman by walking up to her head on. However, that's going to feel pretty intense for both of you. And unless you're, I don't know, saying hello to a woman in like Times Square, New York, where there's tons of stuff going on around you and it's extremely busy, most of the time it's just unnecessary. Instead, approaching somebody side on is going to feel more natural. It's going to feel like less pressure. And also, if the initial vibe isn't great, you can kind of smoothly just keep on walking. So for example, when you say hello to a woman, you might approach her to your side and just talk over your shoulder. Notice her reaction. As I said, if you get a big smile, which you will more times than you think, you can turn towards her. If you talk to her and you sense that she's a bit cold or defensive, you can say, anyway, have a nice day. So think about your body language and how you can make that a little bit softer, a little bit more subtle. You can deliberately say something when you start to speak to her that implies either that you know it's maybe slightly unusual to approach a woman, or that indicates you're not going to spend tons of time talking to her. Hey, I just noticed you and I wanted to say. That makes whatever comes next appear spontaneous and something short that you're going to say to her. Or, hey, I was just on my way to my meeting when I noticed you, and this implies that you're going somewhere else and you just incidentally said something to her. She knows then that you're on your way to something, and that can help her to feel a bit more relaxed because she understands if this doesn't go well, you're not going to spend tons of time with her. And here's the thing. Yes, women don't want to be put in socially awkward situations or made to feel harassed or pressured. If a guy speaks to them who they like and it's done in a socially intelligent way, women often long for men to approach them in the real world. Get some practice reps in with women or people that you're not attracted to. You want to totally normalize for yourself this feeling of talking to strangers in everyday life. So whether you're having some checkout chit chat, when you're purchasing something, you just turn to the person next to you in the queue at the coffee shop and talk to them. The more daily social conversations that you have, the more reps you get in, the more natural it feels. And then, yeah, okay, talking to a woman who's really your type is a little bit different and is usually a bit more intense, but it really helps you to prep for that. And it also means if you're just that tiny bit calmer and that tension level that you feel when you see an attractive woman just comes down a notch or two, it will usually help you to talk to her in a way that is calm, that is grounded, where you speak nice and slowly with lots of pauses. Because remember, she's also feeding off that emotional energy. If you're feeling quite calm, grounded, and like, talking to people in everyday life, this is just me, this is just what I do, she is also going to feel that way about the interaction, and she won't see it as awkward or unusual. what we're trying to do here is not immediately have really long and extended conversations with women. Instead, the goal is simply to get past that initial fear barrier of saying hello to her in the first place. If you decide ahead of time that you're just going to pay her a compliment, you're just going to make her day, then you're actually going to wish her a good day and leave, it takes a lot of pressure off yourself. No, you suddenly don't have to think about what you're saying next or feel like you need to continue the conversation. Oh gosh, how do I get her phone number? As a learning exercise to condition you that, hey, you can see a woman you're attracted to, you can approach her, and not all the time, but most of the time, you're going to get a really nice response from her. That creates positive feedback for you. It helps create a new reflex, which is you see someone you're curious about speaking to and you speak to them. Once you do this enough, again, that tension, that stuck feeling of I just can't do this does start to cool off. And then quite naturally, you can start to have longer and longer conversations with her. So remember, yes, no woman wants some drunk, arrogant guy not taking no for an answer and following her around. That's obviously bad. However, social conversations with people in the real world generally make people feel great. It's also an incredible way for you to meet women if you're not getting the visibility you want on dating apps. So rather than rule out meeting women in the real world because you think, I just can't go there, instead focus on how you can approach women in a way that is socially intelligent.